The next item on our agenda is our consent agenda, and we have items 3A through 3G.
Madam Mayor, before you consider it, we had a request made by a resident that we remove 3A, which is minutes from the February 16th, 2011 City Council meeting.
Thank you. Any other items? I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Mayor, I move the City Council adopt the consent agenda as published, items 3B through 3G.
Second.
All right, please call the question.
Andre?
Yes, Mr. Weber?
Got a couple I'd like to remove, please. And just to reiterate what Mr. Scanlon said, 3A should be...
3A is already off.
That's off, okay, and 3C and 3D.
All right, well, we'll have, are you making a motion to amend the motion that's on the floor then?
Beg your pardon? I didn't understand you, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
Procedurally, that should have been done when I said what the item was on our agenda,
Okay,
to
I just
remove
want...
them, because there's already a motion in place to approve all of them.
There is.
There is.
How come you didn't ask first if anybody wanted to remove any?
Well, because I called the item, and you usually raise your hand, and you
No,
didn't.
he asked first that the one being removed, and then you went ahead and went on. You didn't say, does anybody else, and I had my hand up.
All right. So Mr. Weber has made a motion to amend to pull which two items?
C and D.
We can do it as a friendly, it's certainly okay
Would
with
you
me.
accept his
Absolutely.
amendment?
You
All
bet.
right, thank you, sir. And will the second accept it? Thank you. All right. So we have on the consent agenda, we have items B, E, F, and G. C and D will be done under the Community Development Committee agenda. Please call the question.
Andre?
Aye.
Footlick? Aye. Grostadere?
Aye.
Crane?
Aye.
Shepherd?
Aye.
Vandenberg?
Aye.
Weber?
Aye.
All right, the next item then will be 3A, the approval of the minutes. Those have been removed from the consent agenda. So I would entertain a motion regarding the minutes to open up our discussion.
Madam Mayor, I move the City Council approve the minutes of the February 16th, 2011 City Council meeting.
Second. All right, is there discussion on the minutes?
Was there a change or?
It got pulled off. I see.
A member from the public, and you have, I believe you have that Mr. Nichols, he wanted this removed from the consent agenda. He did not, however, have a correction in the minutes. I think he didn't like the council action in the minutes. So, if there are no corrections, then we can go ahead and call the question.
Andre?
Aye.
Footlick? Aye. Grostadere?
Aye.
Crane?
Aye.
Shepherd?
Aye.
Vandenberg? Weber?
Nay.
All right, the next item, well, you have your community committee reports in your packets, and if you have any questions under those, please bring that up under new business. Item number 4, public comments. This is an opportunity for anyone that's in the audience to address council on an item that is not on the agenda.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is on the agenda, this is 6B. Can
Well,
I
then
address
we
it
need to
then?
come back and talk when
Okay,
it's
I just
6B.
wanted to be recognized when it comes up, that's all. And I didn't know if I could right then or not.
And this is Steve Schronger, and what's your address?
5703 West 53rd.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Overland Park, Kansas. I'm the controller for St. Pius X Church here in Mission. And I just wanted to get on the record that back in November, we notified y'all that St. Pius had not been charged a stormwater fee. And we've had some conversations on that, and we don't have a resolution yet. So I just want to get on the record and make sure that St. Pius wouldn't incur any penalty of any sort for whatever the delay or resolution might be, so.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Anyone else?
I do.
Okay.
Church Street. My comments are, I was going to turn that camera that way, but I forgot.
Oh, that's okay.
Number one, we respectfully request that the Direction Finder survey, its $15,000 cost, is scrapped as an unnecessary expenditure. Number two, assuming number one is refused, we request an additional question be added to the survey to the effect of, do you want the transportation utility fee, also known as the driveway tax, repealed? We think the answers, there should be three choices. Yes, no, or I've been living under a rock, I don't know what you're talking about. Number three, assuming number one is refused, we respectfully request that a three-person citizen panel picked from the audience not currently connected to the city by marriage, committee, commission, or any other fashion be impaneled to assist the city with the wording of the Direction Finder questions. Number four, assuming number one is refused, we respectfully request Karen Falk of ETC Institute be instructed to exclude renters currently living in the city of Mission, Kansas. Property owners have roots in our city where renters are usually obligated to 1 year at a time. Further, it is my understanding renters comprise over half of Mission's population.
Is there any other public
Thank you.
comment? Also, during this time, we take an opportunity to have young members of our audience introduce themselves when they're here for possibly Scout business or Mrs. Crouch's social studies class. So you get to stand up and tell us what your name is and what troop you're in and what you're working on.
My name is Parker Rogan. I'm part of Troop 91. I'm working on the citizenship and community merit badge.
All right, well, welcome, Parker. Okay, item 5 are action items. We have several items coming from the Planning Commission. Item 5A is Mission Crossing Final Plat Approval. Bring that up. There you go. All right, is there any discussion, or I'd entertain a motion? Mr. Andre?
I'd like to make a motion, Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor, I move the City Council uphold the recommendation of the Planning Commission and approve the final plat for the subdivision of land to be known as Mission Crossings First Plat with the following condition. Prior to recording the final plat, shall be revised to include minor edits to the approval section, font size, detail of section corners at the northwest corner of the southwest 1/4 of Section 8, and the pedestrian easement as necessary along 61st Street.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on this item? Mr. Weber?
Just exactly where is this located?
Mission Crossing?
Yeah,
It's across from the post office, is the former Herff Jones site.
okay. I'm with you then, all right.
Okay.
So,
Any other discussion? Please call the question.
Andre?
Aye.
Butlick? Aye. Rosadir?
Aye.
Crane?
Aye.
Shepherd?
Aye.
Vandenberg?
Aye.
Weber?
nay,
The second item coming from the Planning Commission is item 5B. This is a rezoning of 5931 Knoll from a commercial use to a residential use. This was approved by the Planning Commission. Mr. Andre?
Yes, Madam Mayor. I move the City Council uphold the recommendation of the Planning Commission and approve an ordinance rezoning certain property within the City of Mission, Kansas, case number 11-03, for property located at 5931 Knoll Avenue.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on this item? Mr. Weber?
this was originally zoned, if I'm not mistaken, for commercial, and the person that took it over now is residential, so we're changing it from one to the other, or would somebody explain that to me, what's taking place here?
Well, it's a house,
It's a house, yes, ma'am.
and people have lived in it as a house, and then it had a commercial use, and now someone wants to live in it as a house and have it be consistent with that use being a house use. I'm not sure why it was zoned commercial. I'm not sure Mr. Scanlon found that from our search.
We went back to 1957, and from what we can tell, it's always been zone commercial, even though it's always been a house. And they were a legal non-conforming use because it was used as a house. And then what happened is the house became vacant in 2008. And so after 6 months, it goes back to whatever the default zoning which underlies the property, which is commercial office. But from what we can tell, it's always been a house. And so what we're trying to do is just get it cleaned up and back to what its proper zoning probably was.
That's what I thought, because I know it was registered originally as commercial property on that portion. Okay, thank you.
Is there any other discussion or questions? Okay, please call the question.
Andre?
Aye.
Sputnik? Aye. Rostier? Aye. Frame?
Aye.
Shepherd?
Aye.
Dannenberg?
Aye.
Weber?
Aye.
All right, the next item is item 5C, and this is comprehensive plan amendments. And this is what was unanimously approved by the Planning Commission. Mr. Andre?
Yes. Madam Mayor, I move the City Council uphold the recommendation of the Planning Commission and approve the revisions to the comprehensive plan as presented.
Second?
Is there any discussion on this item? Please, okay, no
What do we
no discussion?
change? I don't have anything on it. I have a 5D and the others, but I don't see 5C. What are we revising on the plan here? Somebody want?
Have you read what it is? Would you like, Mr. Scanlon, would you like to give Mr. Weber a summary if he hasn't read it?
There are 5 sections that you'll find in our comprehensive plan, and this is section 4, which are goals and objectives of the city in terms of future development of our community. And on an annual basis, we look at that section as relates to either any planning activities or special studies that we've taken on. In this case, we tried to incorporate the work of the Sustainability Committee over the last year and include their thoughts into that section. If you read through the Planning Commission minutes, there was a lot of discussion about green building codes and how there was a feeling on the Planning Commission that they didn't feel it was appropriate to include those in the comprehensive plan at this time because there was concern that, they're not specific enough and really are there better ways to address what the green building codes tries to do. So that section, which was old section 7.1, was removed. And so this is the best work of the Sustainability Commission and the Planning Commission in rewriting that section and amending it to meet what it is that we've been working on.
Where's the section located, basically?
It's section 4 of the comprehensive plan. There's 5 sections. The first 3 deal with...
Where's the location of it in our city?
It's a document.
It's a document.
It's a document.
Not a location.
John, the changes that were made are under the natural features and environment
I
section
know,
of the
but we've
goals.
made so damn many changes on some of this stuff, it's not even funny from the original plan. And we keep making changes in the original plan, we might as well throw it out the damn window. Excuse my expression, I'm sorry. But my gosh, we keep changing, and it's happened, I know personally, a whole lot over the last 4 years. And all they have to do is go to the Planning Commission, and they can change it. And we just sit here and accept it, yeah, it's great. Well, I'd like to have a little something to say about it sometimes along the line.
Well, I suppose if you'd
But I
like to
give
put
all
in
that
those,
away.
if you'd like to put in the green building requirements, you could make an amendment to the motion.
Beg your pardon?
I said, if you want to put the green planning requirements that the Sustainability Commission had recommended, you could amend the motion, otherwise, we've got a motion and a second.
Yeah, I know.
All right, any other discussion?
I have a question, Mayor.
Yes. This is
The
Footlook.
commission vote was 7-1. Who was opposed to that? Ms. Murray?
It was Jim Brown, but then they took out the section referred to the green building, and then it was 8-0.
Okay.
I think it was, actually, the final vote was 7-1, and I think it was
Oh.
Mr. Braden that
Oh,
voted
sorry.
in opposition
In
to the-
opposition?
Mhm.
And may I ask what his opposition was?
We didn't discuss it at the meeting, but his opposition was to the change to remove the green building code section from what was being forwarded to you, so.
So was the first one 7-1 also? Or the first one was 3-5?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
Thank you very much.
Call the question.
Andre?
Aye.
Footlick? Aye. Grossettier? Aye. Pring?
Aye.
Shepherd?
Aye.
Vandenberg?
No.
Weber?
Nay.
All right, the next item on our agenda are some our miscellaneous items, and we have Mr. Shepherd here from the Shawnee Mission Rotary, and for our street solicitation for our Royal Day. What day? At least it's not the day after time change.
It's Greater Kansas City Day, it's opening day of the Royals, and that's a week from Thursday, 2 weeks from Thursday.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, I move the City Council approve the street solicitation application, Shawnee Mission Rotary Club, Greater Kansas City Day, to be held on March 31st, 2011, at the intersections of Johnson Drive and Lamar, Johnson Drive and Broadmoor, Shawnee Mission Parkway in Lamar, and Shawnee Mission Parkway in Knoll.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Please call the question.
Andre?
Aye.
Footlick?
Aye.
Grossettier?
Aye.
Pring?
Aye.
Shepherd?
Aye.
Vandenberg?
Aye.
Weber?
Aye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, appreciate
I'll
it.
see you in a couple weeks.
All right.
All right, next we have on our agenda community committee report, or committee reports. The first is Finance and Administration, Sue Gross-Didier.
We only have one tonight, and that's a resolution designating city-sponsored festival events. Annually, the City Council passes a resolution designating the city-sponsored festival events. The proposed resolution designates Spirit of Mission Days, Art Council, Art Show, Arts and Eats Festival, and holiday lights and festive sites as city-sponsored festival events. This year, additionally, we have the First Friday's cultural events proposed for the months of June, July, August, September, and they have been included in the resolution. These First Friday events are in the preliminary planning stage and may or may not occur in 2011. Therefore, Madam Mayor, I move the City Council approve a resolution designating the 2011 city-sponsored festival events.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Mr. Weber?
I don't have any problems with the original events that we've discussed, but this Friday thing, we had quite a lengthy discussion at the committee meeting over it. There was quite a few things took place. And the first Fridays, they said, and this and that, and there's nothing yet. It's still in the planning stages, so they don't know if they're going to have it this year or not, and then it'd be for the future. Well, I don't want to mortgage that far ahead in the future on some of this stuff, but I'd like to make an amendment that we remove the First Friday program until they get the program much more dedicated as to what they want and some more information brought to us, since there is a lack of information on what they want to do.
Madam Mayor.
Put that in the form of a motion.
We did discuss it at length, and I thought it was discussed, I mean, it was explained well. It's only one block on Woodson from Markway to Johnson Drive. Yes.
I might just say, even from the minutes from the meeting, First Friday's still in the preliminary planning stages. That was said on, as she gave the report, may or may not be held this year, but are included in the resolution should they occur. That's even written up in the minute for us.
All right. Well, the amendment fails for lack of a second.
Yeah, I know it.
Is there any further discussion? Please call the question.
Andre,
Aye.
Footlick. Aye. Grostadier.
Aye.
Pring.
Aye.
Shepherd.
Aye.
Vandenberg.
Aye.
Weber.
Nay.
Does that conclude your report?
That is my committee report.
Thank you. All right, next, we have community development, and Mr. Andre is going to take this item, and Mr. Andre, you know that you have 3C, 3D, and 6B and 6C.
Yes, thank you,
All
Madam
right.
Mayor. 3C, resolution regarding public improvements in the West Gateway area. Madam Mayor, I move the City Council approve a resolution outlining future street projects supporting the West Gateway corridor in the City of Mission, Kansas.
Second.
Is there any discussion on this item?
I think that one of the, about,
Mr. Vandenberg?
just to give you the heads up, one of the reasons why I'm not going to vote for this one is due to a $8,000 plus expenditure to put a road where I don't believe a road could go. So,
right.
Madam Mayor,
Mr. Andre?
for clarification on this resolution, this is a resolution of public improvements that are slated to be done in the next couple years with outside funding. The road project that Mr. Vandenberg refers to is not covered in this resolution. That will be covered by a design contract and a further item on the agenda.
right.
I apologize. I am sorry.
All right, thank you. Please call the question.
Andre,
Aye.
Footlick. Aye. Grostadier.
Aye.
Pring.
Aye.
Shepherd.
Aye.
Vandenberg.
Aye.
Weber.
Nay.
Thank you. With 3D, we have a resolution regarding public improvements along Johnson Drive. Madam Mayor, I move the City Council approve a resolution supporting infrastructure investments related to Johnson Drive in the downtown corridor in the City of Mission, Kansas.
Second?
Is there any discussion on this item? Mr. Weber?
What kind of improvements we talking about? I mean, is this a blank check that later on they want to do exactly what they want to do, anytime they want to do it, any way they want to do it? I mean, what are we talking about? Improvements on Johnson Drive. I mean, that's going to take a major overhaul. There's a lot of money going to be involved in that. They're going to sit up here and say, okay, council, you give us permission to do this. Now pass these bond issues so we can do it.
Mr. Andre?
Yes, Madam Mayor, thank you. Specifically, the resolution states that there is no monies allocated by this. It specifically allocates the improvements envisioned by this council, including improvements to Johnson Drive between Knoll and Lamar, stormwater improvements that still are related to Rock Creek, and the cleanup of any public property still remaining to make sure it reflects positively on the community.
Mr. Weber?
You say there's no money involved. If you think for 1 minute that the companies, and especially the people that do our engineering and stuff like that, are going to come in here and lay all this out and no money being involved?
For clarification, Mr. Weber, maybe I misspoke.
Slightly.
There is no money allocated or committed to by this council by passing this resolution. Certainly to make these improvements, there will be dollars attached down the road. You are correct.
Yeah, you're right.
Mrs. Crane?
Just like every other public road project, any kind of commitment that goes through this council, through this city, has to come before the council before monies are expended. It's no different than any other project we've worked on. This is a comprehensive view of prioritizing what we're going to look at in Johnson Drive. Each dollar value has to come through this council. It's always been that way.
We
Thank
just
you, Mrs.
proved
Crane.
tonight, money coming out of the funds
John,
for stuff
read
up
your
there.
stuff. I asked you, please start reading.
Any further discussion on the motion that's before council? Please call the question.
Andre,
Aye.
Footlick. Aye. Grostadier.
Aye.
Pring.
Aye.
Shepherd.
Aye.
Vandenberg.
Aye.
Weber.
Nay.
We have item 6B.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Item 6B deals with the West Gateway Street Study and Improvement Design Contract with Olson's Associates. Yes. In order to maximize efficiencies during design and study of future projects in the West Gateway area, a combined scope of work for study, design, and construction observation for the various needed areas has been prepared by Olson Associates. The proposed scope of work, with a fee of $358,612, would allow the city to position itself to best leverage federal, county, and private investments in the West Gateway area. Therefore, Madam Mayor, I move the City Council approve the West Gateway Street Study and Improvement Design Contract with Olson Associates in an amount not to exceed $358,612, including the following project elements. Design Broadmoor reconstruction from Martway to Johnson Drive. 2, design Martway reconstruction from Broadmoor to Lamar. 3, construction observation for Mission Crossings public improvements. And 4, study Barclay Street connection, Martway to 61st Street.
All right, is there any discussion on this item? Mr. Weber?
I got a couple. Number one, design Broadmoor reconstruction from Martin Street to Johnson Drive, Marway. I use that street quite frequently, as I know a lot of people do. And the only way they're going to want to improve that is to narrow it and give you big wide sidewalks along there and a few other things. That street is one of the best, smoothest streets that I can find around here.
What street's this?
It's
Martway?
from Martway, from up to Beverly, or not Beverly, I'm sorry, Barclay, down to Knoll, or Lamar here. Okay? Where the fire station is, and all that. It's nice. There's sidewalks there too. They're just not 10 feet wide. The other thing is, if down there, if you read down below just a little further, it says for the funds for this project, some of it, the line item code and description, $100,000 is going to come from the Special Highway Fund. $258,612 is going to come from the Transportation Utility Fund. I thought the Transportation Utility Fund was basically, we was going to sit up and do something with Johnson Drive. I think that's what people were told, wasn't it?
No, it was to
What?
do, no.
I guess I was misunderstood then.
Any other discussion
No.
from the audience?